And that time waiting for your response is time not spent designing the thing that actually needs to get done. Truth bomb time, guys. You're paying for design time that you don't need. Designers aren't swindling you or trying to take more time than it actually does or purposefully inefficient. They're here to help you and to take something off your plate and turn it into a gorgeous and effective asset for you. But there are parts of the creative workflow that create holding patterns, delays, or double the work. All things that take up more time and more money. Rest assured, these are not things that you should feel guilty about if they apply to you. But working on these things could save you money and time down the line, and they could even improve your own workflow and organization. Unedited copy, weird case structure, typos, etc. Designing with unedited copy means that not only is your designer spending time down the line making those edits and design adjustments, but she's also going back and making the copy edits that you're making. So that's already two people doing the same task. Copy editing after the design is finished is normal, but it should not be intensive. Big changes could affect the placement of parts of your design, so you'd essentially be paying your designer to redo some of her work or to solve new problems that didn't exist to begin with. If your copy is as you like it, but there are some strange inconsistencies like case structure, multiple attribution styles or text styles, or typos, your designer has to go back and manually adjust those things later. Your designer might even feel compelled to ask you what you meant or what you prefer, and that time waiting for your response is time not spent designing the thing that actually needs to get done. Not knowing where or how you want to use the final design. Each platform that we create for comes with its own unique characteristics that affect how design is made. Printable PDFs need to be home printer friendly, so they'll probably involve less color and smaller font sizes. Graphics meant to live online will have larger font sizes and more color. Facebook ads only require 20% of the graphic to be made of type. These are all things that affect how design is made. Starting with this knowledge saves you so much time from the get-go. You should know exactly where your design is going to live and how it's going to be used. And if it's not implied from the platform that it's going to live on, you'll also want to provide your designer with some dimensions. Unorganized files, multiple downloads, or pulling images from websites. This is not the worst offense in the world, I promise. But if your way of sending files to your designer involves any of the following things, you might want to wrap things up and get things organized on the front end to save your designer some time and money later. Not labeling files in obvious ways or referencing files ambiguously. If you're confusing your designer, that's time that she spends interpreting what you said and not designing. Sending multiple download links for separate files instead of one link to a folder full of everything that you need. Asking a designer to pull a photo from your website instead of sending the actual photo file itself. Poor communication or sloppy documentation. If you're not fully processing emails and communication and questions from your designer, that's time that your designer has to go back and ask those questions again, or scroll through your email chain to see if you left any clues or hints to her along the way. Time spent waiting for you is time spent not designing, possibly delaying your timeline or warranting rush fees in the future. Both things that we don't want. Not having properly made brand assets, or any brand assets, or a brand vision. Often the biggest offender is your logo. Designers are often stuck with uneditable or low quality versions of your logo, which really restrict what you're able to do. It forces your designer to either recreate the logo or edit the bejesus out of it. But here's the biggie. The number one thing that's causing you to overspend on design is not having a clear vision of what your brand is. If you've never gone through a formal branding process, you don't have a style guide or an inspiration board even to send your designer, that means that your designer is starting from scratch and she's doing a lot of the guesswork and testing to see what's going to jive with your customers and with your brand. If you want to work with another designer later, you have to start that process all over again. Plus, all these inconsistencies that are resulting from not having a formal style guide might cause your clients to lose trust and interest in you. Again, none of these tips are deal breakers. You should always feel empowered to get design help where you need it and where it works best for your business. But I hope that these tips give you a little bit of insight into the design process, saving you a little bit of time and money down the line. If you want to sharpen up your design knowledge so that you can communicate with your designers faster and easier in the future, keep watching this channel. All the videos here will make you a savvier leader in your own design projects.